Happy Monday to you, JP Morosi. You, good morning, changed your wardrobe on Friday, and our viewers noticed. Listen to this.
Hey, Hot Stove, Mike from Minnesota again. Just wanted to compliment JP on his Friday fit this morning. You nailed it, buddy. We can work on the minivan another time, but you're on the right trajectory. Anyway, love the show as always. Have a great weekend. Bye.
You're cool. See, you're hip. Some would even call you swaggy.
Thank you. Yeah, Lauren, there I am. And by the way, all the thanks to Bree for suggesting that I ask, how's my fit? Because I had to at least sound like I knew what I was talking about. I tell you what, I did get some reaction. My sister, who doesn't normally watch a lot of sports television, she was weighing in as well on the plan and what I can do going forward to be the coolest girl dad that I can possibly
Bill
be. So
loved
I appreciate
it, didn't
that.
you, Bill?
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome.
He's the worst. He's just so grumpy this morning. Hey, JP, we showed you all that Dodger video in the A block, and it's crazy. Keith and I were just talking about Clayton Kershaw, obviously not on the roster, had surgery on that shoulder, and LA saying we're keeping in contact with him. What does that mean?
Lauren, it's an excellent question because, as we know, the Dodgers, all the investment they've made this offseason, and yet there are still some questions about exactly how this rotation will look when the season begins, some injury risk that is part of their rotation as it exists today. And so now comes the question, will they actually re-sign Clayton Kershaw once he is back and healthy by the middle part of this season? And Dodgers GM Brandon Gomes over the weekend did acknowledge that they are continuing to stay in touch with Clayton Kershaw. As we well know, this is the only franchise he has ever known. When he is enshrined in Cooperstown, he'll have a Dodger cap on. Here's what he did last year. Lauren, he was still quite dominant, even though there were obviously some injury situations that came up during the course of the season. So it does appear, based on the opinion of many around the game, when he is ready to pitch again, that he'll be engaging with the Dodgers to see about joining the Dodger rotation. There are those who believe that it's possible that he would consider signing with his hometown Texas Rangers. It's a wonderful idea in some ways. You've got these two great choices, the only team you've ever known and the only team that plays in your hometown. So these are two interesting ideas and concepts. I would still think, Lauren, the Dodgers would bat first in that situation, especially when considering that they have built a roster for the ages. So we put a bit of a pin in that discussion and revisit it maybe around May or June at some point later on in the year. But it does look like the Dodgers, if they do have some rotation needs, they'll be calling up number 22 at some point in the months ahead. Now, as for the lineup as it exists on opening day, Dave Roberts was asked over the weekend, hey, what does your 1, 2, 3 look like with respect to your lineup? Just hypothetically. And it does appear that for now, when the Dodgers play Game 1 in Seoul, South Korea, that it is going to be Mookie Betts 1, Freddie Freeman 2, Shohei Ohtani 3 to begin things. And there was some fan reaction where some fans would have liked to have seen Ohtani 2, Freddie 3. As we all know, Lauren, there are no wrong answers. The most important answer of all that the Dodgers got over the weekend and shared with us publicly, and actually came from Shohei himself, is that he's doing well, that the elbow rehabilitation is going swimmingly, that he's about to start taking some live swings, and that all signs right now point to him being available and ready to go next month. And again, it's amazing to say next month, that's when the Dodgers play their first regular season games. That series that Maddie referenced, Dodgers-Padres, 2 games in Seoul, South Korea. The expectation is that Shohei is going to be there and ready to go to hit as the DH for Game 1. As we know, and he alluded to in his conversation with interpreter Ipe Mizuhara about what the plan is in terms of his arm rehabilitation. The part of that conversation is that he's going to be able to integrate the throwing with the hitting. He'll be ready to go on opening day in Korea. But again, this is a longer conversation to make sure that he's ready to pitch by 2025. As we well know, and Billy documented, he's not going to pitch in 2024. So the key thing is, can he be a DH? And all indications are, Lauren, the answer is yes, as of game 1.
I'm glad you answered that question because fans, we saw the scar on his arm and all the fans wondering on social media over the weekend. When David Roberts announced that 1 through 3, the fans just went nuts. And of course, everyone has their own opinions. Speaking of third, Matt Chapman not having a home yet. And when you look at JP, any publication, it's the latest was the San Francisco Chronicle that he'd be a perfect fit here. Any updates on him and his free agency?
That has not changed, Lauren.
Okay.
And I do think in the minds of many, and there were some comments recently publicly by Giants ownership about still looking to find ways to improve the roster. When you start putting all of these elements together, as you know, of course, the Blue Jays last week, they signed Justin Turner, which probably precludes them just based on budget from signing Matt Chapman. That they've got a plan for third base now already. So if Toronto is not a strong option for Chapman, you think about the Giants. Publicly, they're still trying to upgrade their lineup. Bob Melvin knows him well from his time with Oakland. Matt Chapman knows the Bay Area well from his time with Oakland. And the Giants, as we know, they still need more offensive impact. Yes, they brought in Jung-Hoo Lee, but there is still an acknowledgement that their lineup, especially when you compare it with the 1-2-3 that we just talked about with the Dodgers, the Giants can't quite compare yet with what the Dodgers have. And so I think by signing Matt Chapman, Lauren, that might actually restore a bit more of a balance on the Giants side of things. But the Giants still working on their lineup in the same way that I am still working on my
You're
wardrobe.
too nice. They can't compare yet to the Dodgers as if something's going to change. Hey, it's February 5th, and we're anxious, so thanks for the news and thanks for the updates,
Thanks,
JP
Lauren.
Morosi.